a ball of light.
What I saw were these balls of light.
It was just a bright, bright light.
Nevada in the 90s is regarded as a UFO mecca, mainly because this is home to the infamous Area 51 military base. But many of the UFOs reported here today and long ago have nothing to do with Groom Lake, and many involve our most prominent citizens. 1946, a full year before the term flying saucer was coined, before the alleged crash at Roswell, a UFO was spotted from in front of the El Rancho Vegas, the first resort on the Strip, by the hotel's part owner, Charlie Resnick, as reported by Sun columnist Murray Zenoff. The next year, a military pilot flying over Lake Mead reported to his superiors a formation of bright UFOs. Another pilot saw a single object over Las Vegas itself. 1954, Elbert Edwards, then superintendent of schools in Boulder City, reported seeing a, quote, weird spaceship that looked a lot like this. Railroad worker Lindy Albert and others reported in 1959 a UFO the size of a 747 that paralyzed the train and its occupants. There were dozens of witnesses. In the 60s, former Metro police officer Chuck Woodworth and friends, while hunting in Lincoln County, saw a UFO perform incredible maneuvers.
It went straight up, straight down, and it made square corners. It's a good possibility it is something from somewhere else.
Woodworth didn't know it at the time, but he's one of hundreds of Nevadans to report seeing strange objects in the state's central counties. Some can be attributed to advanced aircraft being tested, some but not all. Stop at a coffee shop in Caliente and you'll hear stories of UFOs and flying discs. It's the same in Pioche and Panaca.
Everybody that lives up here has seen strange things in the sky.
I can't disprove what these people claim they saw. I wouldn't try to.
Undersheriff Harry Collins of White Pine County has taken a few dozen UFO reports over the years, but none as strange as this one from October 1996. Two men and their sons, all from southern Nevada, were deer hunting in a remote area known as Cave Valley.
Cave Valley is located just on the other side of these mountains, and at this time of the year it's virtually inaccessible, which is just fine because from what we hear about the place, chances are you wouldn't want to go in there anyway.
According to the official report, the four hunters were awakened in the middle of the night by a silent light hovering over their camp. They became frightened, packed their gear and the kids in the car, and took off at a high speed. The object, whatever it was, followed them for almost 50 miles, sometimes behind the car, sometimes in front.
They were shaking. Physically shaking, trembling. One in particular, he had trouble even talking.
Sergeant Baker says the terrified hunters roared into the tiny town of Lund and contacted lawmen. They were then escorted to Ely, were interviewed, and were offered lodging at a nearby motel.
He was afraid of leaving the building because he felt it was out here someplace. And I said, well, if it would make you feel more comfortable, we'll go down with you when you get yourself a room and we'll keep a watch on the room throughout the night. And he said, no, he says, I'm not leaving. And I said, you're not leaving where? He said, I'm not leaving your building until it's light out.
The undersheriff says Cave Valley has long been known for strange lights. Centuries ago, Native Americans believed the valley was where spirits of the dead went. This case is listed as a UFO.
They were in a very remote area. I don't think somebody would drive that distance to report something just to be, so they can make contact with the sheriff's department at 3 o'clock in the morning.